you like you done know. Yeah, fam. This one is gone clear, fam. Heard couple little man say they don't like me. Does it look like I care, fam? I told these from back in 03. Don't know me, but your girl knows me. This man I get wrapped like a lamb roti. Free said about this, oh please, I'm one of the realest.
What's up, YouTube, and welcome to KangBrosTV. Liverpool are through to the next round. Yes, we're gassed, as you can see from the video. And that was for all the haters that thought we'd never do it. Kieran, where you at, bro? Where you at? So yeah, I mean, Liverpool won 2-1 today. And overall, we won 5-1 on Aggregate. Let's be serious. I mean, yes, we were sweating. Let's be honest, for the first half, Jesus.
Relentless. That was relentless.
Like, Pep. I mean, hats off to you, man, because...
Actually, first off, let me stop you there. Yeah? First off, I said in the previous video, I said that I thought that we would, if we conceded in the first 10 minutes, I didn't think we would win the game. I still stand by that. Although it didn't happen, I know you're going to think, oh, we're an idiot, but I know it didn't happen in that sense, but that second goal, that momentum was up, and that's the whole point I was trying to make, that if they got that first goal in the 10 minutes, the momentum was going to be completely with them. And yeah, they had a goal disallowed, so I still believe in that, but boy, I'll take it.
Well, let's start with the way it started, right? Because after the first, we were literally like swearing, thinking this is exactly what we was talking about. We didn't want to happen. Who's to blame? Like,
was it a foul?
Nah.
Come on now. It's not a foul. It's not a foul.
Yeah, it's soft as shit if it was to give him a foul, right? And you don't. I did not expect from VVD. Like when he got into that position, the way he was looking for the foul, just clear your lines and don't take the risk at that early on in the game and in this sort of magnitude of a match.
I'm gonna stop you there straight away.
Go on.
That's one thing that pissed me off from the get go is the build up to that goal. Now, like I said, listen, I'm no like obviously pro goalkeeper whatever, but I've done it. I've played there. Yeah. There's one thing that you got to be very good at, which as a goalkeeper, you control the tempo and you control the speed of the game. You can do that, right? Now, when the ball came back to him, to Karius, initially from that point, it was a chance for him to take a touch, let the guy come in, wait, pick up the ball. By that point, people will drop off. Nah, get out of the pitch. My man's playing 100 mile an hour. Bruv, you're winning 3-0. Chill. Relax.
VVD was saying to him, just chill.
Robertson. We were saying before the game, we were worried about Robertson and Alexander-Arnold, big games, had the play on the stage. Why Robertson's there like that, bruv? Chill.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it was a game of two halves, though, right? I mean, haven't seen Liverpool that badly bullied all year, and that's why I give hats off and props to Pep, because he had his tactics on point. We was like, there was a lot of us watching this game, and people were shouting various different things at the screen, saying, "Oh, the midfield's not doing this. We need to be doing this. We need to be doing that." But the way the team was set up for Man City, hats off to them, because they played to their plan. And I think what we said about the midfield, they couldn't get into the game because they were just outnumbered. Isn't it? Right in the middle.
Well, I think the from the get go, like again, I think the biggest thing from Liverpool's, but I don't think it was a game of two halves. I actually think Man City were the better team, just in general. But I think
the second half as well.
No, I thought that. Well, let's be honest. Liverpool got into the game second half and they made it count, because obviously Man City. That's the risk Man City took. Right?
Yeah, I just think they were. For me, that in the second half, they just looked exhausted from what they did in the first half. That's why I was.
But that's what, like, I get that, but I'm saying I still think overall they were probably the better team. But the scenario of the game being that Liverpool were winning and Man City needed to chase the game more. There is no way, yeah, and I said this to you at half time. There is no way Man City could keep up that pace for 90 minutes. Period. You saw it against Man United. Man United, that game should have been done and dusted first half. Man United, they rode the storm. They took about 3 more bruises than we did. Came back and won the game just like we did. Just because. It goes back to that point I made to you before. Man City defenders they're not what you think. You know what Prince Hassan Hammer said about Eubank Jr.? He's not what you think. Quit. You should stop. Listen, Otamendi is a poor defender. He's a poor football player at that level. Listen, you're telling me, yeah, like everyone's like, oh yeah, Otamendi's this. We got people now, like you can't really watch the game with us. Otamendi's a top defender. He's brilliant. Oh, Aymeric Laporte, he's this and that. Listen, I'm sure Aymeric Laporte will be a good defender. Right? I'm sure he will. He's got a long time to go. But Otamendi has been proven on a number of occasions. Before Pep came in, everyone was like, he's dog shit, right? When Pep came in, protected him, put the right players around him, and then made him look a player. You single him out, he can't defend. One-on-one defending, you know, every time you look, he looks suspect. He's not that great on the ball, and he'll give the ball away. And he's proved it.
Yeah, and he proved it today.
And then I think tactically, the way Pep set up his team, Liverpool's midfielders couldn't get in the game. You can't go and press you can't go follow up and press them, because the front three, they were like, well, normally we'd go and fly up and press them, but we can't, because the way that they've set up, they've gone 3 at the back, they've had midfielders all along here, they're the 2 wide men that stayed really wide, and then they basically nullified everything that Liverpool could do. Liverpool can't go and press, because if those 3 go all go together, one pass out wide, and it shows they're all so techie, one pass out wide, man, 4 or 5 people out the game, and they're flying at you from all different angles. And I just thought tactically, I thought it was genius from Pep. And even at half time, you're thinking, boy, Liverpool, we're not going to be able to sustain this. But realistically, Man City can't sustain it. Nobody can sustain that velocity, you know what I mean, and that pace, and the physicality. You can't sustain it for 90 minutes, and it showed.
One thing I mentioned to you in the game, because I always said it even in the so before we get to this game, was that I think Hendo, if he was in there, would make a huge difference. And I think the fact that he wasn't going to be playing was a worry for me. Now, the reason why I say that, I think where we missed Hendo today is where we needed some composure. And someone who can battle and win balls back for us. Now, I think he would have added that for us. Now, you disagree, right? You thinking that he probably wouldn't have made a difference. Now, you're saying that because he goes sideways, but I think we just needed someone who was composed enough to take the ball and not panic, because sometimes we did get the second ball fall to us once in a while and we're just literally hoofed. Now, for me, I think we could have done better with those situations, and that's why I was saying to you, I think Henderson would have made that difference for me. I'm not saying they would have changed the complete game, but there was times where we needed to hold that ball.
I appreciate what you're saying, but I disagree. I just disagree with you in the sense that, and this is exactly what I said before as well. The thing about Henderson is, listen, he keeps it moving, yeah, and that's a good thing for him. He keeps it moving. Now, the fact that some people are saying that he should be playing is obviously shows that he's gone up a level and he's not the same old Henderson that has been there for a couple of years and everyone kind of questioned. But sometimes you just got to accept, yeah, that Man City in the first half bamboozled Liverpool.
Yeah, 100%.
When Liverpool got on the ball, right, I felt sorry for Ox, I felt sorry for Wijnaldum, I felt sorry for Milner, because they're trying to rap. There's blue shirts everywhere. It felt and it looked like there was 13 players on the pitch.
Yeah, it felt like we were down to 10 men.
It did, and you had, you saw sometimes that Fernandinho was playing as a centre half, but then he'll be on the edge of the box. Walker was, as a Liverpool player at that time, as a midfielder, you're thinking, I can't go. Because if I go, there's just pockets of space behind me, and one pass is going to take 3 people out of the game. So you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. Now, the one point you're saying about is Hendo would have kept it moving. Now, kept it moving to who? That's what I kept saying to you. Man City did not let Liverpool get their heads up in the first half, and so Liverpool had to try and play percentages football.
But where I disagree with you is that you can't say that. Because you're saying as if there was no opportunity to make a pass. I think there were some areas where we needed just a bit of composure. There were some times where the Mano clipped the ball and he tried to spin rather than just actually shielding and holding up. Just hold up the play rather than trying to spin and trying to make a quick attack. I think that's where we just needed, just hold the ball. There's a few times where Mane, he took it and just literally spun and lost the ball. All you want somewhere, just shield the ball, hold it up, slow things down a little bit.
And you're saying Hendo's your man for that?
No. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there were areas in the game where I think we could have been better in the first half.
And I think that there was one point in the first half when Firmino proved it, and this is the one thing I tried to say to you to make a counter to that point, was what you needed was somebody with a bit of ability, a bit of trickery, or a bit of quality. Because as soon as you beat the first press, as soon as that man's in your face and you can beat that first press and shield the ball, but you've got to have a little bit of trickery. You've got to have a bit of quick feet. Firmino did it once.
Yeah,
he dropped into that position. The guy came to press him, shifted the ball into his right foot, twisted his body, and then he had literally a split second to find a pass, and all of a sudden it looked like, oh my God, we're 1-on-1. And that's all it would have took. But how hard is that when the pitch is so crowded?
Yeah.
And Firmino had to go back and drop it. But I felt sorry for the 3 boys in midfield. I thought they had to work their bollocks off. And second half, everyone said in the second half, oh my God, they're putting in such a shift, putting in the blocks, they're making the runs, they're making the passes. That level of performance didn't change from them. They worked their asses off in 90 minutes. First half, you just got to take your hats off and say Man City were breathtaking. And they were. They should have been 2-0 up. They hit the post. They could have been 3-0 up. They were breathtaking. First half, they were unbelievably good.
We can't not move forward to Liverpool without mentioning the disallowed goal. Now, that was not offside.
It's offside. It's a line.
Keep it moving.
Just next question, please.
But you're going to feel hard done by, right? If that happened to Liverpool, if that was, and what happened with Man United as well, that was a blatant penalty. This was a bad decision. I don't know really what to say, because if I was a Liverpool fan, I'd be pissed. Do you know what I mean?
No, listen. It's a goal. It should have been a goal, but
and it could have changed the game. But
it would have changed the game because we were so deflated at that point.
I get that, but listen, what we understand is here we've won 5-1 on aggregate. That's no joke. Over 2 legs, we've beaten Man City 5-1. That's not close. If you look at it on an overall perspective, yes, they could have scored a goal, but yeah, we don't know what could happen in the second half, whatnot. But come on, 5-1. Now that is a beating.
It's a beating, and I think, I know, and the thing I like about Pep is he is, in his interview afterwards, he was like, the way he rinsed the ref was quite funny. But I think he was quite appreciative of the fact Liverpool were played well, and congratulations. But he made the point that some of the decisions didn't go in their favour. That's fine, but I think a team like Man City, who have spent all this money and have this great footballing know-how, you're singling out a couple of moments that you think could and should have, would have changed the game. Liverpool scored 5 goals. And now, listen, obviously I'm a Liverpool fan, so yeah, I'm a little bit biased to say, yeah, but we scored 5 goals. But Liverpool scored 5 goals, and if we're being fair, there was a chance in the first half when Ox played the 1-2. No one really talks about that. Do you know what I mean? There was a couple of opportunities in the second half when it was the wrong decision, and no one really talks about that. So you got to just take the result, and it was 5-1. And over 2 legs, Man City have conceded 5 goals and only scored 1. So I think that's the facts. That's what people are going to see, and I think that's where Man City are going to be like, well, hold on a minute. We brought this guy in because he thought he would take us on to the next level in Europe, and we came up short against a team that's in the same league as us.
We said even when the draw happened that Man City did not want Liverpool just as much as Liverpool fans probably didn't want Man City. It was exactly the same. And people were saying, "Oh, Man City will probably tear us apart" and all this kind of stuff. But I think the thing that I really liked from this performance, and I think one of my mates mentioned it as well, was the resilience. Right? We gave praise to Man City for the way they played, but it was good to see Liverpool from a different perspective. They knew that they were going to get hell thrown at them for the 90 minutes.
Going to get worked, yeah.
Exactly, they're going to get worked. And all these people that go after the likes of Milner, right? The likes of Ox and all this kind of stuff. These players saw that game through. It was because of that, like you said, the hustle and bustle. And obviously VVD, yes, he made a mistake in my perspective, and I don't know if you agree.
Of course, yeah.
But the things that he did afterwards, the big aerial battles that he continuously wins, you've got to give the guy credit for what he does and what he's added to our defence. And I mean, that's what I want to say is that yes, Liverpool can attack, but we've also got a great defensive record now. I think it's since 2011 we've had our best defensive record in the league. Since 2011. And people don't see it like that. But because VVD's come in...
It's because how shit it was in 2011. It's still shit now.
No, but do you know what I'm saying? Like, do you agree with me on that? No,
I do agree. I think what you've got to say is, and I think someone mentioned it on the commentary, was that Carrick didn't actually have to make massive saves today. And I think that's where, if you're a Man City fan, just when you got to look at it and think, we've got to ask questions of that, matey. He's a good goalkeeper, but it's a big game. People will make bad decisions, and I just that's the nuts and bolts of it. Liverpool scored 5. Man City scored 1. Liverpool seem to have dealt with a lot of the threats. Relatively. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't like it was unscathed, but if you went to war and you got to expect to get hurt at some point. And Liverpool did get hurt. They was wounded, but they came out on the other side. And I think that's what's credit to Liverpool and what he set up. And yeah, VVD is a big part of it. But yeah, I think Milner, Ox, and I said this in the video that Ox has to step up to the plate. And for me, he stepped up big time.
You think so?
I think he stepped up big time.
He got
on the ball, blocks, press.
And like we said when we talked to you whilst the game was going on, it's like we talk about if Coutinho was here. But would Coutinho, like you said, would he track back like Ox was doing? Would he go in there flying with those blocks? I don't think he would. And that's what we needed today.
And the thing is, that it's funnily enough, like I think it's taken Coutinho to leave for someone like Bobby to come out of his shell a bit more. And I think Salah's obviously had an unbelievable season. Mane, he's, again, for me, he's a bit like Marmite. You either like him or you absolutely hate him, I guess, because people find him very frustrating. But the guy's work rate, keeps getting his foot in. He keeps getting. I mean, the goal came from that. From his bit of
that quick
tenacity and yeah. So I think from Liverpool's perspective, I think it was a good, resolute performance. The grit, in that first half to come out of that 1-0 and the keeper not be overly worked. I mean, don't get me wrong. There was times when he was beat, but he wasn't overly worked. I think you'd be thinking to yourself, you know what? That's a decent effort.
That's what I'm saying. I think that was a great side to see of Liverpool for sure. And as you just touched on there, Mohamed Salah, that finish, the composure, the size of the game that you're playing in, and you do that.
And he was getting beaten up. Fernandinho was
scratching him, biting him, all sorts. Ugh. But that finish, I mean, and you saw Otamendi on the floor there. As a defender, you've been in a position where you want to block. What do you do? As
Otamendi there, you're thinking, right, make myself as big as possible. And mate, watch it. He's gone like that, and mate's gone, oh, allow it. Do you know what I mean? He's actually thought, oh, what? It's actually nuts, but
that's what I mean. In slow motion, it looks even better. And then in celebration, just usually like, you're done, no. That's what Mo Salah was saying to everybody. I think even the stats showed that he's like one underneath Ronaldo and same as Messi.
Yeah, it's all across Europe.
What can you say?
Listen, I'm just going to enjoy it because, listen, like most Liverpool fans will probably agree with me, listen, normally when it gets this good, it never lasts. You know what I'm saying? Someone will come in and be like, listen, open the checkbook, there you go. But listen, he was just, he didn't really have a great game. He was, wasn't at his best, but that's what you wait for. That's what Ronaldo does. Even if he's not influencing the game, boom, there's your goal. There's your goal. There's gets through to the next round. Let's keep it moving. But there's one thing I wanted to pick up on, and sorry, just butt in, but it was obviously something that it's been discussed, and it was a tactic. Man City score a lot of goals by getting him past the wings are so quick and putting the ball back, pull back, and it was always for that late run. The third man run, that midfielder coming in just on the edge of the box, getting shots off. And we've seen them score it so many times, and everyone talks about. Literally, we've done it before. We've watched the games. You see them, bit of passing, quick run, slip it down the side, beat the fullback, and they never cut the ball across the face of the goal. It's always penalty spot or edge of the box. Just behind the penalty spot for that third man run to come in onto it and stick it wherever he wants. Liverpool today defended that brilliantly, and it was like something that it stood out to me, and I'm a bit of a weirdo like that. I think more because defensively, that's what I'd look for. And I saw that late run. You saw the midfielder make the run, but Liverpool had somebody there, and then they take the ball, and that's when they had a bit of possession of the ball. I thought that was so. It was just so good to see that they've obviously worked on it. They've obviously seen something. They've obviously identified that's where a lot of the goals come. The threats come from there. As fullbacks, there's going to come times where you won't be able to stop it. Sometimes those guys are so quick and they overlap. There's going to be times where you have to say, right, they're going to get the better of us, but where do they put it? Very rarely across the face of the goal because there's always typically a centre half there. It's that third man run they look for. Your De Bruyne's, your Bernardo Silva's always coming onto it, and I thought that it was just something that stood out to me, and I thought was amazing.
So in terms of man of the match, who was the standout performance for you today? I mean, the whole team as a unit were absolutely phenomenal to go through that for the 90 minutes. I mean, hats off to every single player. But if you're going to have to go and pick out one player in particular, who would it be?
Trenty.
Yeah,
Trenty was mate. Leroy Sané. There was times when he'd done me, and I'm watching on TV, thinking, "Oh shit, he's gone that way."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I thought when he come on, towards back end of that game, you could see Sané was getting a lot more annoyed, and he was starting to be a little bit. You could see his body language was getting a bit more urgent, getting a bit frustrated. And to be fair, when Kleiny did come on, you could see Kleiny going, "Woof, quick boy."
It was all about that challenge you were running into him. He's literally like falling over, like a drunk or something.
But for me, it was. I thought Trent was brilliant. But then saying that, I think you could pick any one of the three midfielders. I thought Gini, second half, I was
going to go with Gini.
Gini came out of his shell in the second half. First half was just pure grit your teeth and run.
That's it.
Second half, he got on the ball, he's being braver.
And he was the one, not dictating, but he was actually getting
on the ball.
Yes, exactly.
Ox, I thought was just tremendous. I thought he was tremendous today. Millie, I mean, listen, guy's like a fine wine. Do you mean getting better with age? Just chilling.
So yeah, I mean you would go with either Trent. I mean, like you said, surely he's got to play right back. Kyle Walker's on the same pitch. They had the same discussion on the TV as well about Kyle Walker's on the same pitch as Trent, who should be playing at right back for England. Surely that Southgate has got him in his radar, and he's got to be.
As much as I actually really dislike Kyle Walker,
I know
I really don't like him.
Yeah.
But I'd still go with him.
Why?
Because I think it's a World Cup. It's a big stage. Listen, Champions League is brilliant. He's around Liverpool. It's his childhood club. They know he knows everyone plays. He's around these people every single day. World Cup's completely different. Different country, different setup. You're not going to get the love that Klopp's going to give you. You're not going to get the arm around the shoulder. You're not going to go home to your mum and dad. You're on your own. You want someone there who's been there and done it. So I think it's good for him to be there, but I think to get some experience. But I think Kyle Walker has earned his stripes and knows how to. He's gone through the sort of the.
I agree, but
levels.
I think Trent's always been thrown in the deep end quite a lot for Liverpool. I mean, I remember going to see him at Old Trafford. We were short on the right back, and he jumped in. And he dealt very well with the likes of Martial, Rashford, and Zlatan.
Last season, wasn't it?
Yeah, last season. So,
but then, just 2 weeks ago, we were saying the inexperiences.
But surely, he's learning from that, right? I mean, even today, like you said, there was times where Sané confused us right? And we're fans just watching, right? But he still managed to be in the right place and sort of get himself out of the trouble.
Does that not say to you that, okay, personnel-wise, he can deal with someone who's pacey, but when there's a big physical presence, he doesn't know how to, that's I guess that's a manager's job. But for me, I'd say he's certainly in with a shout, because I can't really think of, I know that there's Trippier, there's another right back, so if you're going to pick two right backs, you're probably going to go with Trippier and Walker, because they've kind of been in and around it and stuff. But he'd be someone that you'd take along with you, because I think he'll be England's next right back. I guess post the next Euros, they could be looking at him as the regular fixture, I would have thought.
And Barcelona, give a little Firmino. Oh, that was shocking. But the way Roma, the stadium, all the atmosphere, the way they came back into it. I mean, I would take Roma. I don't know about you. I mean, from the goals they scored against Barcelona, it seemed all very aerial, all very physical. And I think that suits VVD and Lovren to the ground if they're going to actually mark Dzeko. What do you reckon with that?
I think...
or you don't care?
I've said this before as well. At this stage in this competition, I don't really... You're not going to sit there and cheer if you look at the draw. Yes, we've got Bayern Munich. Yeah, Real Madrid. Fucking get in there. Do you know what I mean? And Roma's they're no jokes. Do you know what I mean? They've just knocked out Barcelona. But just before we go and talk about who we go next, I just want to go back to Karius again today. Back to the point that I made in the last video. I don't want people to pave over the cracks and say, "Oh yeah, goalkeeper situation sorted." Listen, it ain't. It's not. He's a very good goalkeeper and he's improving. He is improving. But we ain't got time for people to be improving in such a vital position. Game management today was poor. That's why you should not be throwing the ball to VVD at that situation. And the pace that you threw it. If anything, roll it to him with a view to, I'm going to give you an angle, just play it back to me. Right? Or something like that. Why are you taking the ball and running out with it when you're winning the games 3-0? Take this thing out of it. You know the first 10 minutes are really important. Crosses are coming into the box. My man's grabbing the ball and he's tearing to his... I know Liverpool are thinking about getting a goal, but you've also got to think we are in the shit at the minute. Yeah. We're keeper, just take the pressure off us. We're going to launch it anyway at some stage, whether I pass it to Lovren or not. Take this thing out of it. Let the referee warn you, right? Then stick it and then try and turn them and get Salah one-on-one. I think game management today, I think it was just so bad. He started doing it when we've gone 2-1 up. Yes. And I'm like, that's fine, and it's good time to be doing it. But bruv, do this half an hour ago, 40 minutes ago. The game's a lot easier. So I think game management wise, and that cross that came in today, he pushed it into quite a bad area.
And I think if you noticed, it was defenders telling him to hold on to the ball. It was Lovren screaming to say, hold the fucking ball, calm it down. Now as a keeper, that should be on your list, on your to-do list straight away in this fixture. You know what you're going to do. And like you said, take this thing out of the game. You can see the game from the whole thing, what's going on, right?
Yeah.
And he didn't offer us that today, unfortunately.
Definitely. And obviously, that's the only slight neg that I have is the game management side of it. It's like, if the goalkeeper sets a tone with that. And today, that's what I'm saying. I just look at it and I think, if people think that it's sorted, it definitely isn't. He's doing a very good job at the moment, and we can't complain. We're into semi-final, and he's conceded 1 goal over 2 legs. So you can't really give him too much discredit to what he's done. But that for me would be like, right, let's just remember, let's keep our heads on, and let's look long term, and not just think about the last 5 games, and think about the last season or whatnot. But yeah, that's the thing I wanted to say.
So yeah, we're on to the next round of the draw. I think you said it was on Friday. So looking forward to that. Like we said, don't care who we get. Enjoy what we got at the moment. We don't know, could we get knocked out next round, but we want to go all the way, win that Champions League for the 6th time. So yeah, all the viewers, let us know your thoughts on the game. Do you think Liverpool can go all the way? Who would you want next in the next round? And don't forget to share, like and subscribe.